Imagine waking up every day with a full fridge, clean water flowing from the tap, and lights that turn on with a flick while billions still wait hours for basics that you barely notice. This hidden wealth isn't in bank accounts but in the quiet privileges shaping your entire life right now. What if the real riches aren't gold or luxury cars, but the freedom to choose your job, send your kids to school, and sleep without fear of tomorrow's meal signs most people miss while chasing more money? Stop scrolling for millionaire tips because the shocking truth is you might already be in the top 1% of global wealth just by having steady electricity, internet, and access to medicine that others can only dream of. Ready to rethink everything? You flip a switch and power surges through your home, effortlessly contrasting the millions who walk miles daily for firewood or wait days for unreliable grids in vast rural areas. Your morning routine includes fresh water from a reliable tap, while in many places entire communities depend on distant wells or contaminated sources hauled by hand. Sending children to school without worry represents a profound advantage over families where kids must work fields or streets just to survive basic needs. Having consistent food availability on store shelves stems from unseen producer efforts far beyond small backyard gardens struggling against unpredictable weather. Access to basic healthcare when needed stands in stark contrast to regions where one illness can wipe out years of family savings or end lives prematurely. The ability to travel for work or leisure highlights privileges unavailable to those trapped by lack of transport or documentation in remote communities. Internet connection opens endless information and opportunities, unlike the isolation faced by billions without digital access in vast underserved areas. Financial stability allowing small savings buffers shocks that devastate households relying solely on daily wages in precarious informal economies. Clean sanitation facilities prevent diseases that ravage communities still using open fields or shared unsafe latrines across large populations. Choosing what to wear or eat daily reflects freedoms denied to those limited by extreme scarcity or cultural restrictions in many societies. Reliable public transport or personal vehicles contrast walking hours daily for basic errands in areas lacking infrastructure investment. Access to libraries, books, or online learning resources dwarfs the educational barriers faced by children in overcrowded, underfunded systems worldwide. Having multiple clothing options signals abundance compared to wardrobes consisting of one or two worn outfits common in low-income households. A safe, secure home with locks and walls stands against living in makeshift shelters vulnerable to weather, crime, and displacement. Regular electricity enabling appliances, study, and entertainment contrasts candlelit evenings or darkness after sunset in off-grid regions. The freedom to pursue hobbies or rest after work highlights privileges unavailable when survival demands constant labor from dawn to dusk. Owning basic appliances like fans, refrigerators, or phones represents wealth unseen by those relying on manual cooling, preservation, or communication. Access to diverse news sources shapes informed choices, unlike reliance on limited or controlled information in restricted environments. Having emergency funds for unexpected repairs contrasts families forced into debt cycles from even minor crises like illness or broken tools. The ability to say no to exploitative work reflects bargaining power absent in desperate labor markets, offering few alternatives. Consistent nutrition from varied sources supports health far beyond diets restricted to staple grains due to economic or seasonal constraints. Personal safety walking streets at night contrasts constant vigilance required in high-crime or conflict-affected neighborhoods. Owning identification documents enables rights and services denied to undocumented individuals navigating bureaucratic barriers. Access to cooling or heating maintains comfort, unlike enduring extreme temperatures without climate control in harsh environments. The luxury of time to plan for the future contrasts living day to day without margin for long-term thinking or investment. Having multiple income sources or side opportunities provides security absent in single-income households vulnerable to job loss. Reliable postal or delivery services bring goods to your door, contrasting remote areas awaiting weeks for basic supplies. The freedom to express opinions openly stands against environments where dissent risks livelihood, safety, or freedom. Access to recreational spaces, parks, or gyms supports well-being unavailable in densely packed urban slums or isolated villages. Basic insurance coverage against accidents, illness, or loss protects assets unlike families facing total ruin from unforeseen events. The ability to afford small luxuries like occasional outings contrasts constant sacrifice of even minor pleasures for survival. Stable governance providing rule of law contrasts regions plagued by corruption, instability, or absent public services. Having privacy and personal spaces contrasts crowded living conditions where entire families share single rooms. Access to quality footwear and clothing protects health, unlike walking barefoot or in worn-out shoes causing chronic issues. The option to pursue higher education or skills training opens doors closed to those lacking fees, transport, or family support. Reliable waste collection maintains hygiene, contrasting open dumping leading to disease in many communities. Personal transportation choices enable independence, unlike dependence on irregular crowded public options or walking long distances. Having surplus to share with others reflects abundance absent in households where every portion is carefully rationed. The freedom from child labor in your family contrasts millions of children working instead of attending school. Access to clean air through location or regulations contrasts breathing polluted air in industrial or overcrowded zones. Basic dental care prevents pain and expense, unlike untreated issues causing lifelong suffering in underserved areas. The ability to celebrate occasions meaningfully contrasts inability to mark events due to financial or resource constraints. Owning tools, equipment, or devices multiplies productivity, unlike manual labor limiting output and income potential. Stable mental health supported by security contrasts chronic stress from constant survival pressures. Access to legal recourse protects rights unavailable where justice systems are corrupt, inaccessible, or non-existent. Having hobbies, equipment, books, or instruments enriches life, unlike barren daily routines focused solely on necessities. The privilege of restful sleep without hunger, fear, or discomfort contrasts restless nights in unsafe or deprived conditions. Access to information about rights and opportunities empowers change, unlike ignorance perpetuating cycles of disadvantage. Having a support network of family, friends, or community contrasts isolation faced by migrants or marginalized groups. The ability to plan vacations or breaks recharges energy unavailable when work never truly stops. Basic financial literacy and banking access builds wealth, unlike cash-only economies vulnerable to theft, loss, or inflation. Owning multiple pairs of shoes or seasonal clothing adapts to weather, unlike wearing the same inadequate items year-round. The freedom to change careers or locations contrasts being tied to ancestral land jobs or family obligations. Access to entertainment media, music, or films brings joy, contrasting monotonous days without diversion. Having a personal bed, mattress, and bedding ensures rest, unlike sleeping on floors, mats, or crowded shared spaces. The privilege of complaining about minor inconveniences contrasts inability to voice dissatisfaction without risk. Stable supply chains deliver goods reliably, unlike frequent shortages disrupting daily life in many regions. Access to voting and civic participation shapes destiny, contrasting disenfranchisement in undemocratic or unstable systems. Having surplus time for self-improvement contrasts constant exhaustion, leaving no energy for growth. The quiet wealth of perspective recognizing these signs transforms gratitude, turning ordinary days into profound abundance.